Welcome back to the Just Economy podcast. I'm your host, Cornell Cruz Jr. We're here with Jim Sayih of the Executive Director of the Special Compass. So, Jim, we're going to get to housing, but I also, when I was researching you, I was looking up on your website. You have Power Buddies. Can you explain Power Buddies to us?
Yeah, Cornell, Power Buddies are real special people. They really are. Power Buddies are the volunteers who are athletes who give their arms and legs and heart and fitness to push our differently able to cross the finish line and let them experience the different sports and different adventures that we get to participate in. These are very special people because most people will just watch. You know, most people are spectators.
Sure.
Not a lot of people want to get in the arena. And these people are in the arena. And they ask, they just say, is it okay? Can I run a 5K run and push a buddy? Can I do a marathon and push a buddy? Can I do a triathlon or a mud run? And we say yes, yes, and yes.
So how do you, it sounds like what you're saying hasn't been hard to recruit, but how do you get those folks involved? How can they get involved? And we're going to have his contact information later, but how do they get involved with Special Compass in order to be one of those folks?
Well, we rely on social media. We collaborate with different clubs like triathlon clubs, running clubs, other sporting clubs. And in the early stages, you know, during our grassroots development, it was just word of mouth. And now it's gotten to the point where people actually know who we are. I'm actually a little surprised, you know, when I hear people say, "Oh, I know who you are," or some people will actually tell me. They'll say, "Hey, have you ever heard of Special Compass?" And
That's got to be surreal, right?
It is. And I'm looking at them in the face, and I'm like, "Tell me more." And I'm listening to them explain to me Special Compass. And then finally, at the end, you know, after, you know, I can't hold this smile anymore, I finally just say, you know what, I'm the founder. I'm the founder of Special Compass. And the way, you know, we send out stuff on social media on, hey, we got an event coming up. Anybody want to join us? If you want to push a buddy, contact us. You can do this on our website. Our website has a registration application to be a Power Buddy or to be a rider. If you're in a wheelchair, you can register to be that so that you'll get all the notifications of events coming up and how you can participate.
So we're going to, as always, we're going to have Jim's contact, but I definitely will link it to our website as well and post it on all my social media as well as my LinkedIn. Okay, so
Thank you.
And that's another thing I think that we have to do as the social impact organizations is support each other. So we look forward to working with you in order to help do that. And so, and you call those folks Power Buddies. How did you come out with the name Power Buddies?
Well, because the buddies are the ones in the chairs, and the Power Buddies are the real horsepower.
I got it now. Got it.
They're the engines that are pushing the chairs.
So it's going to be, it's. Do you ever run out of Power Buddies?
Well, the way we set things up is first, like this last event that we just had, the triathlon. What we do first is we get our buddies. Once we have our buddies in place and we know how many buddies are going to race, then we put the news out there that, hey, listen, we have 20 buddies. Who wants to be the engines? And then, you know, 5 may sign up, 10 may sign up, and before you know it, it fills up. And then usually we get overflow.
And so you also recruit the buddies as well. They're also attached to you. So you help recruit those folks as well that want to participate, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, so we have relationships with different organizations throughout South Florida, some group homes, some like the Arc of Broward, Arc of South Florida, the agencies for disabilities. And my son, Michael, who's the founder and president, he has been serving under Governor DeSantis for a year now. He was appointed a year ago on the Disability Council.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so that board of directors is 24 people. Most of them are fast movers, CEOs that are, know how to run businesses and stuff. But there's 5 of them in wheelchairs. And so policy making, legislative works.
That advocacy is a constant thing that has to be done constantly.
Yeah. And, people like Michael that are in it, that are living it, that are experiencing, entitlements that aren't being exercised. but they're the voice. And, Michael will help people understand their rights, not in a bad way. I mean, they just say, have you ever considered this?
Sure.
Have you ever considered that? So policy making, laws for legislators to consider, making things a little bit easier. Because, we travel the world doing these races. We've been everywhere. And we see the difference in how people with disabilities live in other countries. And we have it pretty good here in the United States, especially since 1990 when
Sure.
ADA was enacted. But we still see problems here. But we're grateful because whenever we go to another country, it's an eye opener.
Yeah,
it's an eye opener.
and I would think that would also feed the narrative of what the needs are here as well, right? Seeing those things in other countries. So I'm sure your passport book is pretty full, huh?
Well, in Tokyo, if you get on a train, you wheel in on a train, just like you would if you were to wheel in on a train in New York. So you wheel in, right? If you do that in Tokyo or anywhere in Japan, you got to get out of the wheelchair, and sit in the actual seated
Really?
train. Yeah. That's their law.
Wow, that's strange when you say that about
Strange.
Japan, because Japan is one of the more advanced countries in this
Exactly.
world.
Yeah, and their website, brags about how good they are with disabilities until you're actually there.
Wow.
But when you're there, it's a big eye-opener because we were just there in April, and we got to see firsthand what it was really like. And, and transportation was not as, as easy as I would have thought.
Wow. So on the power side of the Power Buddies, is there a minimum age that can volunteer?
Well, we thought it was going to be, you need to be an adult. But we're finding at a lot of our races, especially our 5Ks, because they're kind of simple. You just kind of get behind a race chair and just push. And it really just depends on the person, because you may have a 10-year-old who's a super athlete,
Sure.
and he'll just do it all by himself, and we've seen that. And then you may have an 18-year-old who just may not be able to do it at all or have the maturity to manage this. So we kind of always like to do like an interview process, especially for the first timers. But usually when people do it for their first time, it's so fulfilling for the Power Buddy. A lot of times the Power Buddies say to us, I thought I was in this to help the person that I'm pushing, and I thought it was going to give them a good time. And little did I know, when I crossed the finish line, it really impacted me more than my buddy.
Yeah, I got to think that those folks who are the power side are changed individuals when they do this.
Yeah.
Just like you were,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because when you did it with your son, the very first one that you did with your son, I'm just interested, and if I'm prying, please let me know. But I'm just interested, how was that? How did it change you? What was that feeling like that first time?
Well, that first one was a duathlon. So, we wrecked a few times. So, really, when we crossed that finish line, I was too busy bandaging him up.
But sometimes that's the best part, though. Hurting a little bit lets you know that you really did it, right?
I was very distracted. I was putting on bandages and cleaning wounds and stuff for him because I was going to be really yelled at when I got home.
Yeah, I'm sure. But what was that feeling like? How do you feel?
I got to tell you, Cornell, it's really fulfilling because that it's your efforts, it's your muscles, it's your oxygen, it's your fuel that is making them, both of you, cross the finish line. When we've done some long races, just when you're starting to think, oh man, I think I mismanaged my nutrition. I think I'm running out of gas here. Oh, I think I need more hydration. I think
every athlete and every person who does anything strenuous goes through that.
Yeah, so as you're thinking that, and then all of a sudden Michael will tell me, "You all right?" He says, because a lot of people are passing us, and that's very common. And he says, "A lot of people are passing us, Dad. You all right?" And I'm like, when I hear that, that's usually
perks you right up, right?
Yeah, it's like, all right, I know what you mean. All right, I'll step it up here. Let me go to the water station.
Dad, you're going too slow. Let's pick this up.
Yeah,
let's pick this up. Let's move.
Yeah, let me get some sugar in me and let's step it up.
Yeah, we all need motivation at those times, and however that motivation comes. So you mentioned housing, and I would love to get to the housing part. So what is the plan as far as the housing is concerned?
So we had Pembroke Pines, the city of Pembroke Pines, donated 3 acres to us.
Wow.
Yeah. And this has been a long wait for us, and
I'm
we're
sure.
very grateful. One of the commissioners there is our cheerleader, and she, Iris Seipel, she learned years ago what our goal is, and I really thought, I mean, I live in Pembroke Pines. I would have never thought that our first housing development would be in the town that I live in. So I've watched the city of Pembroke Pines grow over the years.
Sure.
So I asked Iris one day, because she saw us at events and she's been following us and has been a cheerleader, loves our mission. And I told her one day, I said, I want to do a housing development. And she's like, well, you're going to need some land. And I'm like, does Pembroke Pines have any? She says, we have plenty. And I said, well, what do I got to do? And so she says, leave it up to me. But that took like 5 years.
Yeah, it takes time.
Right? So it took about 5 years. And she just kept standing on the desk of the city manager for over and over, right? And just when I keep thinking it's time, we're going to get it, or we didn't get it. So I'm still looking. I was looking all over the place, Homestead, Palm Beach, Stewart. I was looking all over the place, and I'm thinking we're going to be far, you know. And finally one day, well, after we just finished helping a couple, there's a married couple, both in wheelchairs from spinal cord injuries. We did a makeover for their home. So I had 40 volunteers. We painted their home. We built a huge patio around the periphery of their house, landscaping, sprinkler, paint. We extended one of their bedrooms, did tile. We really, in 4 months, we made over their home. So anyway, we ended up getting a lot of media. We were on the front page of the Sun Sentinel. So that Sun Sentinel article, Iris puts it on the desk of the city manager. And
Pressure.
she says, this is the organization that I've been telling you about. They're doing stuff. We need them to get their land. Well, that was on a Monday. On a Wednesday, 2 days later, I'm meeting with the city manager, and he's showing me the site of where our land is going to be.
Got to apply that good pressure. You definitely, especially when it comes to things like that, and anything, and dealing, especially dealing with government, and you need something from them, you got to apply that good pressure. Congratulations, that's a huge deal, especially with housing being such a prevalent item here in South Florida in particular, across the nation, but South Florida here in particular. How precious housing is. So, do you have an idea what the project's going to be yet?
Yeah. So it's going to be a 60-unit apartment complex. The first floor is going to be just offices, and it's going to be a recreational area, because we're going to give them free programs and services, and those programs are going to include education, you know, how to get a job. I mean, just life skills they're going to learn on that first floor. And it'll be a social area too. 2, 3, and 4, it's going to be all 1-bedrooms. And it's going to be smart technology. So for people who have different abilities, will require certain technologies in their apartment. And it'll be affordable to them. They're not going to be paying $2,000 a month. They're going to be paying anywhere from $600 to like maybe the tops $900 a month.
Okay.
And so it's just going to be breaking even for us to get this to operate. And it'll be secure. We'll have security systems. We'll have aides on campus to help them. And the people, the whole push living in special compass living is going to be to learn to be as independent as you can. We have a bus. We've just been awarded through the Florida Department of Transportation. We've got getting a brand new bus being built right now.
Outstanding.
Right now it's being built.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it took like 3 years, but I got the grant.
Well, I mean, again, you have to keep plugging away. Now that's social impact, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's called social impact. Do you have a timeline for the housing?
Well, we have to apply again. We already applied once for one loan through the Florida Housing Finance Corporation.
Sure.
Some big developers competed against us and squashed us. So they beat us. This year, the rules have changed. So Florida Housing is being a little nicer, and they're kind of pulling back on the big developers because they're already billionaires. First time.
Don't get me started.
First time impact organizations like us who have collaboration with big organizations, like part of our team is Easter Seals. Part of our team is Arc of Broward. I mean, so we have some good collaborative people and that provide great programs and services. So yeah, am I a first-time developer? Yeah. Is this my workspace? No. But I'm partnered with Green Mills Group, who have built 14 of these type of complexes, who have experience, who have a great track record with Florida housing. So I'm partnered. I got a Super Bowl team.
There you go. That's what you need.
Yeah.
That partner and collaboration is how we get things done.
It's so key. It's so
It's
key.
how we
Cornell.
get things done. If you're in a serious misconception that you could do this by yourself, you're living in a fantasy world. I come from, as you well know, especially being in the military. In the military, it's all about team. And team for me means I can't do it without you, and you can't do it without me. So being that team, being collaborative, building those partnerships is key. And congratulations, man! I look forward to being at the ribbon cutting.
You will.
Most definitely.
I'm going to add you to the list.
Please do. By all means, I want to be there for that. That's going to be incredible. So I have one last question before we get to your contact information. And it's a question I ask everyone. So if I gave you all the power in the world, what would you do with it?
Wow, that's a big question.
Sure it is.
So it's unlimited?
Unlimited. You can do whatever you want.
Wow, that's a great resource. I would have in every single state in the United States my housing project in all of the major cities. So if one state has like 3 major cities, each one of those cities would have my buildings in them. If a state has 10 big cities, 10 building projects are going to be in there. So I'm not just going to say 50 buildings. It could be anywhere up to 100 buildings.
It's amazing what every time I ask that question to every one of the social impact organizations that we've had on, and including some of the ones that support social impact organizations with their services, it's always about what they can do more in the community. And there's never anything personal, because I give them free reign to do whatever they want to do with the power. But there's always things like that where they want to give back to the community or make the community better. So thank you, Jim. We greatly appreciate it. Please give us your contact information, website, and so on.
Well, our website is easy. It's just specialcompass.org, O-R-G. And my email is jim@specialcompass.org.
That's pretty simple. And he constantly needs power buddies and volunteers to come out and help. So we look forward to you. Thank you, Jim Sayih, of the Executive Director of Special Compass. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Just Economy podcast. We look forward to working with you and partnering with you in any way that I possibly can. Any way I can help, please let us know. We'll put you in contact with financial institutions, whatever, just to let us know. And again, I'll definitely be following you on social media and reposting. People that know me that's on my social media, I repost everybody's stuff. So we look forward to that. And thank you so much for being a part of the Just Economy podcast.
Thank you very much. We'll help you too.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for viewing another special podcast from the Just Economy podcast, sponsored by the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida. We look forward to seeing you next time.